The world is filled with breathtaking beauty, but often beauty masks a deadly trap. From vertigo-inducing heights and crushing depths to toxic landscapes and roads where a single inch determines survival, humanity has found ways to access the most inhospitable corners of the planet. Over the next hour, we will examine 33 locations where the margin for error is zero. These are the most dangerous places on Earth to visit. Deep in the Trans-Baikal region of Siberia lies a crossing that tests the nerve of even the most hardened drivers: the Kuandinsky Bridge. Spanning nearly 600 meters across the Vitim River, this was never meant to be a permanent road bridge. It was a temporary railway service structure that was never finished. Today, it is a harrowing gauntlet. At just over 2 meters wide, there is barely enough room for a standard vehicle. There are no railings. There are no safety barriers. The surface consists of rotting wooden railway sleepers laid loosely over a rusting metal frame. Many planks are missing entirely, offering glimpses of the icy water below. In winter, the wood becomes coated in black ice, turning the crossing into a game of Russian roulette. Drivers must open their windows to prevent wind from catching the vehicle's surface area and blowing them into the abyss. A successful crossing requires a spotter on foot and nerves of steel. Connecting Argentina and Chile through the heart of the Andes Mountains is Ruta 60, known ominously as Los Caracoles, or the Snails. The name comes from the dizzying succession of hairpin turns on the Chilean side that scale an incredibly steep incline. From above, it looks like a coiled spring placed against the mountainside. While the road is paved, its danger lies in its geography. The route climbs to an altitude of nearly 3,200 meters, meaning drivers must contend with thin air and rapid fatigue. For much of the year, the pass is buried under heavy snow, making the tight switchbacks incredibly slippery. There are very few guardrails to stop a sliding bus or truck from tumbling thousands of feet down the slope. The combination of heavy cargo traffic, impatient drivers, and extreme alpine weather makes Los Caracoles a beautiful but terrifying ascent. The Congo River is the deepest river in the world and the second largest by volume. Attempting to navigate its length by canoe is a journey into one of the planet's last true frontiers of danger. The physical threats are immense. The river is notorious for its violent, unpredictable rapids, including the infamous Livingstone Falls, a series of cataracts impossible to navigate. Beneath the surface, lurk colossal Nile crocodiles and highly aggressive hippopotamuses, which are responsible for more human deaths in Africa than almost any other large animal. But the human element is perhaps even more dangerous. The river winds through regions plagued by decades of civil instability, militia activity, and extreme remoteness. If you get into trouble on the Congo, help is not hours away. It is often days or weeks away. It is a magnificent, untamed waterway that demands absolute respect and punishes complacency severely. The name Fairy Meadows sounds idyllic, but the road to get there is the stuff of nightmares. Located in the Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan, this is widely considered one of the most dangerous roads in the world. This 16-kilometer stretch of unpaved gravel track is hacked directly into the side of the Nanga Parbat mountain massif. It is barely wide enough for a single jeep. There are no guardrails. One side is solid rock, the other is a sheer vertical drop of thousands of feet into the gorge below. The road is unstable, prone to landslides, and requires constant, agonizing concentration. Only locals drive this route, transporting terrified tourists who must often hike certain sections that are too eroded for vehicles to pass. One false move of the steering wheel, one crumbling section of gravel, and there is nothing to stop a lethal freefall. Straddling the border of India and Bangladesh, the Sundarbans is the largest continuous mangrove forest on Earth. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site of stunning biodiversity, but it is also the domain of a unique and terrifying predator. This is the only place in the world where tigers act as regular man-eaters. The Royal Bengal tigers here have adapted to the tidal, saline environment, becoming powerful swimmers that hunt humans who enter the forest to fish or collect honey. Unlike tigers elsewhere that avoid human contact, Sundarbans tigers are known to actively stalk boats and ambush workers from the dense undergrowth. Estimates vary, but scores of people are killed here annually. Entering the mangroves is a calculated risk where humans are not at the top of the food chain. Sometimes danger isn't about ancient landscapes, but modern engineering pushed to the extreme. In Chongqing, China, the Lingpaishi Road serves as a dizzying example. Built to connect communities on a steep gradient, this isn't just a winding road. It is a tightly knotted intestine of asphalt. The road packs dozens of incredibly tight hairpin turns into a very small geographical area. The sheer density of the turns creates a visual vertigo for drivers. While paved and guarded, the constant rhythmic swinging of the vehicle back and forth, combined with the steep incline and the distracting visual complexity of the road itself, leads to high rates of driver fatigue and accidents. It requires absolute focus to avoid crossing the center line into oncoming traffic on a blind curve. The Challenger, deep in the Mariana Trench, is the deepest known point on Earth's seabed. At nearly 11 kilometers down, it is the ultimate hostile environment. The danger here is entirely based on physics. Pressure. At the bottom of the trench, the water exerts a pressure of over 8 tons per square inch. That is the equivalent of having 50 jumbo jets piled on top of you. Visiting requires hyper-specialized submersibles designed to withstand these unimaginable forces. There is no margin for mechanical failure. A cracked viewport or a compromised hull seal would not result in a leak or a slow drowning. It would result in instantaneous catastrophic implosion. You would cease to exist in a fraction of a second. It is the most unforgiving place humanity has ever visited. Often called the gateway to hell, the Danakil Depression in Ethiopia is a geological marvel that seems actively designed to kill human life. Lying over 100 meters below sea level, it is regularly cited as the hottest inhabited place on Earth, with temperatures frequently exceeding 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. But heat is just the beginning. The landscape is dotted with hyperacidic pools, neon yellow sulfur fields, and active volcanoes spitting molten rock. The air is thick with toxic gases that burn the lungs. Travelers must be accompanied by armed guards due to regional instability, and the risk of severe dehydration and heat stroke is constant. It is an alien, beautiful and brutal environment. Off the coast of the Western Cape in South Africa, a narrow channel of water between Dyer Island and Ghasa Rock holds a terrifying distinction. This is Shark Alley. Due to the massive population of seals on Ghasa Rock, this channel has one of the highest concentrations of great white sharks on the planet. They patrol these waters constantly, hunting for prey. While thousands of tourists visit annually to cage dive, the danger of the surrounding ocean is palpable. The water is cold, turbulent, and filled with apex predators perfectly evolved to kill. Entering these waters without the protection of a reinforced steel cage is essentially a death sentence. It is a place where the raw predatory power of the ocean is on full display. China is home to many terrifying engineering feats, but the Lanying Canyon Cliff Road in Chongqing Municipality is particularly harrowing. To connect the isolated village of Lanying to the outside world, residents carved a 1.2-kilometer path directly into the vertical face of a massive limestone cliff. This Guoliang, or cliff tunnel, is often open-sided. Drivers are faced with a low rock ceiling above them and a sheer drop of hundreds of meters on the other side. The road is narrow, often rough, and requires absolute precision. The psychological pressure of driving with a massive overhang pressing down on you while teetering on the edge of an abyss makes this one of the most nerve-wracking drives on Earth. In the Venetian lagoon sits a small island that locals refuse to visit and fishermen steer clear of. Poveglia Island is renowned not for physical terrain dangers, but for its terrifying history and psychological atmosphere. For centuries, Poveglia served as a quarantine station for victims of the bubonic plague. Tens of thousands of people died here, their bodies burned in massive pits. Later, in the 20th century, it housed a mental asylum run by a doctor rumoured to have performed crude lobotomies on patients before throwing himself from the bell tower. The island is now abandoned, overgrown, and officially forbidden to visitors. The soil is said to be composed largely of human ash. The danger here is the oppressive weight of history, a reputation for intense paranormal activity, and the very real risk of collapsing derelict structures. High in the Peruvian Andes sits La Rinconada, the highest permanent human settlement on Earth, at 5,100 meters, roughly 16,700 feet. Life here is a desperate gamble. The air is so thin that visitors risk severe altitude sickness and pulmonary edema just by arriving. There is no running water, no sewage system, and the cold is relentless. The town exists solely because of a nearby unregulated gold mine. The settlement is largely lawless, plagued by mercury contamination used in mining processing and high crime rates. It is a place of extreme environmental hardship and social desperation, where the pursuit of gold overrides basic human safety standards. Mount Hua in China is one of the country's 5 sacred mountains, but its most famous feature is a test of pure adrenaline, the plank walk in the sky. Located on the mountain's south peak, this path is often cited as the world's most dangerous hike. For a segment of the journey, the trail disappears entirely, replaced by narrow, rough wooden planks bolted onto the vertical rock face. Visitors must wear a harness and clip themselves onto a horizontal iron chain running along the cliff. Below the planks is a drop of thousands of feet. There is no safety net. You are trusting your life to the integrity of the bolts in the rock and your own ability to keep moving while staring into the void. In the Democratic Republic of Congo looms Mount Nyiragongo, a stratovolcano housing the world's largest and most persistent lava lake. The sight of the churning magma inside the main crater is mesmerizing, but highly volatile. Nyiragongo is notorious for its extremely fluid lava. When an eruption occurs, the lava doesn't ooze. It rushes down the mountainside like water, reaching speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. Furthermore, the volcano constantly emits vast quantities of sulfur dioxide. Deadly pockets of carbon dioxide gas, known as mazuku, can pool in low-lying areas around the mountain, silently asphyxiating unsuspecting trekkers or local wildlife. In the Gojal region of northern Pakistan, crossing the Hunza River requires a supreme act of faith. The Hussaini hanging bridge is often called the most dangerous bridge in the world, and one look explains why. The structure is a chaotic collection of rotting ropes and widely spaced splintered wooden planks. Many planks are missing entirely, forcing crossers to step over gaping holes with the icy rushing river far below. The bridge is long and sways violently in the wind. It was originally built with simple materials to serve local needs, not modern safety standards. Every step requires careful placement and a tight grip on the frayed cables. It is a functional crossing that looks more like an Indiana Jones movie set piece. On April 26, 1986, the number 4 reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded, releasing tons of radioactive material into the atmosphere. Today, the resulting 30-kilometer exclusion zone remains one of the most contaminated places on Earth. While limited tourism is allowed on strictly controlled routes, the danger is invisible and omnipresent. Radiation hotspots still exist in the soil, vegetation, and abandoned machinery. Venturing off the cleared tarmac paths can expose visitors to dangerous levels of isotopes like cesium-137 and strontium-90. The ghostly city of Pripyat, frozen in time since the evacuation, serves as a stark reminder of the disaster. The danger here isn't immediate death, but the long-term silent threat of cellular damage from ionizing radiation. Most gardens are places of peace and beauty. The Poison Garden at Alnwick Castle in Northumberland, England, is dedicated to suffering and death. Behind locked black iron gates bearing skull and crossbone warnings lies a collection of over 100 of the world's most toxic plants. The rule for visiting is strict. Do not touch, do not smell, and certainly do not taste anything. Here you will find plants like Ricinus communis, which produces ricin, Atropa belladonna, or deadly nightshade, and Strychnos nux vomica, the source of strychnine. Some plants are so dangerous they are kept in cages to prevent accidental contact. In this garden, a simple brush against the wrong leaf could lead to severe illness or fatal organ failure. Deep in the Siberian tundra lies Oymyakon, the coldest permanently inhabited settlement on Earth. Here, danger is a matter of temperature. The town has recorded temperatures as low as -71.2 degrees Celsius, -96 degrees Fahrenheit. In these conditions, the environment actively tries to freeze you. Exposed skin can develop frostbite in under a minute. Engines must be kept running continuously, or the oil will freeze solid. The very air can be painful to breathe. Surviving here requires constant vigilance, specialized clothing, and a robust infrastructure that can never fail. In Oymyakon, the cold is not just uncomfortable, it is lethal. It is known simply as El Camino de la Muerte, the Death Road. The North Yungas Road in Bolivia connects the capital La Paz to the Amazon rainforest region of Coroico. For decades, before a newer bypass was built, this was the only route for trucks and buses. The road is legendary for its narrow width, often only 3 meters, carved into sheer cliffs that drop 600 meters straight down. There are almost no guardrails. Compounding the danger is the weather. The region is prone to dense fog and heavy rains that turn the dirt track into slick mud. At its peak use, it was estimated that 200 to 300 travelers died on this road every year. Today, it remains a terrifying draw for extreme cyclists. The Drakensberg, or Dragon Mountains, in South Africa, offer some of the most spectacular alpine scenery on the continent. But the beauty of the Drakensberg Traverse masks a high fatality rate among trekkers. The danger here is twofold: terrain and weather. The traverse is not a defined trail, but a route requiring scrambling over exposed rock faces and navigating sheer cliffs without safety gear. Furthermore, the weather is notoriously volatile. Bright sunshine can turn into a freezing blizzard or dense fog in a matter of minutes, disorienting hikers and leaving them exposed on precarious ledges. It is an unforgiving wilderness where underestimating the elements has led to scores of deaths over the years. Off the coast of Belize lies a world-famous diving site, the Great Blue Hole. It is a massive underwater sinkhole, 300 meters across and 124 meters deep. While beautiful from the air, the dive itself is dark, deep, and dangerous. The main attraction involves descending over 40 meters to see massive stalactite formations. At this depth, divers have very little bottom time and face the risk of nitrogen narcosis, a drunken-like state caused by breathing compressed nitrogen at depth, which can lead to fatal errors. The hole itself is dark and disorienting once you pass the sunlit rim. Below a certain depth, the water becomes anoxic, lacking oxygen, and the bottom is a graveyard of conch shells and the remains of divers who pushed their limits too far. On the island of Oahu, Hawaii, the Haiku Stairs, also known as the Stairway to Heaven, climb nearly 4,000 steps up a knife-edge ridge of the Ko'olau mountain range. Built during World War II to access a radio station, the stairs are now illegal to climb, though many still attempt it. The danger lies in the steepness of the ascent, which is nearly vertical in places. The metal stairs are often slick with rain and mud, and sections have been damaged by storms and landslides. A fall from the ridge would be fatal. The remoteness of the trail also means that rescue in the event of an injury is extremely difficult and expensive. It is a breathtaking climb that is officially off limits for good reason. Stretching over 2,000 kilometers through the Russian Far East, the R504 Kolyma Highway is one of the most isolated roads on Earth. But its nickname, the Road of Bones, hints at its horrific history. The road was built during the Stalin era by Gulag prisoners working in sub-zero Arctic conditions. Thousands died during construction from starvation, cold and exhaustion, and their bodies were interred within the road's foundation. Today, driving the highway is a challenge of extreme endurance. The region is brutally cold in winter and turns into an impassable bog of mud in summer. The sheer isolation means that a vehicle breakdown in winter can easily become a survival situation. The summit of Mount Everest is the highest point on Earth. But above 8,000 meters, climbers enter what is known simply as the death zone. At this altitude, the atmospheric pressure is so low that there is only about a third of the oxygen available at sea level. Human life cannot be sustained here. The body begins to slowly die, consuming its own muscle tissue for energy. Climbers face extreme cold, hurricane-force winds, and the debilitating effects of hypoxia, which clouds judgment. If you cannot move under your own power in the death zone, rescue is almost impossible. The frozen bodies of fallen climbers that line the route to the summit serve as grim mile markers of the danger. In the South Island of New Zealand, Skipper's Canyon Road was hand-carved by gold miners over 140 years ago. It remains one of the most terrifying drives in the Southern Hemisphere. The road is unbelievably narrow, unpaved, and features sheer drops of hundreds of feet into the Shotover River below. There are very few guardrails. It is so treacherous that standard rental car insurance in New Zealand specifically excludes driving on this road. Meeting another vehicle requires one driver to carefully reverse along the precipice until a slightly wider passing bay is reached. It is a stunningly beautiful scenic drive that requires absolute precision at the wheel. In Rajasthan, India, lies the ruins of Bhangarh Fort. While it poses few physical dangers during the day, it holds the reputation of being the most haunted place in India. The danger here is deemed so significant by the authorities that the Archaeological Survey of India has placed a sign at the gate legally prohibiting anyone from entering the fort grounds between sunset and sunrise. Legends abound of curses made by dark magicians and tragic royal deaths that left the area spiritually desolate. Locals believe that anyone who stays in the fort overnight will not return. It is a rare location where the government itself officially acknowledges a paranormal threat. It is the 9th highest mountain in the world, but Nanga Parbat in Pakistan is known by a far darker name, the Killer Mountain. Before it was finally submitted in 1953, 31 people died attempting the climb. It possesses immense, sheer faces that are terribly difficult to navigate. The Rupal face is the highest single rock and ice face in the world, rising nearly 4,600 meters from its base. The mountain is notorious for bad weather and massive avalanches that sweep down its slopes without warning. While modern climbing techniques have improved safety, Nanga Parbat remains an incredibly technical and unforgiving peak that claims lives regularly. In the Japanese Alps, the Tateyama Kurobe alpine route is famous for its snow corridor. Tourists flock here in spring to travel a road carved through snow that can reach depths of 20 meters, over 65 feet. While the route itself is tightly managed for tourists, the sheer existence of these massive snow walls indicates the incredible power of nature in this region. The danger lies just beyond the cleared path. This area receives some of the heaviest snowfall on the planet. In winter, the mountains are a no-go zone of catastrophic avalanche risk. The towering white walls of the corridor are a beautiful temporary monument to the immense destructive potential of winter in the Japanese Alps. Beneath the bustling streets of Paris lies an empire of death. The catacombs contain the skeletal remains of over 6 million people, transferred there in the 18th and 19th centuries when the city's cemeteries overflowed. A small section is open to the public, but beyond that lies a sprawling maze of over 200 miles of unmapped illegal tunnels. The danger here is getting lost. The tunnels are dark, silent, and all look alike. Cataphiles, illegal explorers of the system, tell stories of people wandering off, their flashlights dying, and never being found in the labyrinthine darkness. Below the City of Light is a vast, confusing underworld where it is perilously easy to disappear. On the island of Java in Indonesia sits Mount Merapi, literally translating to Fire Mountain. It is Indonesia's most active volcano and one of the most dangerous in the world due to the dense population living on its flanks. Merapi is notorious for pyroclastic flows, superheated clouds of gas, ash and rock that race down the mountain at hundreds of kilometers per hour, incinerating everything in their path. Despite regular eruptions that have killed thousands over the decades, millions of people refuse to leave the fertile slopes. Living in the shadow of Merapi means accepting the constant threat of sudden, fiery annihilation. About 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo, Brazil, is Ilha da Queimada Grande, known globally as Snake Island. This small island is the only place on Earth inhabited by the golden lancehead viper, one of the most venomous snakes in the Americas. Its venom is fast-acting and causes flesh to melt around the bite wound. Estimates of the population density vary, but some claim there is as many as one snake for every square meter of land. The danger is so acute that the Brazilian Navy has forbidden anyone from landing on the island, with exceptions made only for select scientific researchers. In the Annapurna region of Nepal, the Ghasa hanging bridge is a vital lifeline for locals, but a terrifying ordeal for the uninitiated. Suspended high above a river gorge, this long, narrow bridge was built specifically to ease congestion caused by herds of animals moving up and down the mountain trails. At any given time, the bridge might be packed with dozens of donkeys, cattle and goats, along with their herders. The sheer weight causes the bridge to sag significantly, and the movement of the animals makes it sway wildly. It is a daily commute for the locals, but a vertigo-inducing nightmare for anyone else. We end in the American West, at a place named for its lethal nature, Death Valley, California. It holds the record for the highest reliably reported temperature on Earth, 56.7 degrees Celsius, 134 degrees Fahrenheit. The valley is a massive basin that traps heat, creating an oven-like environment. The danger here is often underestimated by tourists who venture too far from their air-conditioned cars. In the peak of summer, dehydration can set in within minutes. Heat stroke can be fatal in less than an hour. Every year visitors die here, often found just a few miles from safety, having succumbed to the relentless, overpowering sun of the hottest place on the planet.